Welcome to the K&M 495 Sportscast. As always, this is Mike, and per usual, I am joined by one of the most best-looking specimens of a male that I've ever seen in my life, Kyle Ronick. Kyle, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, but where's this guy at that you're talking about? I don't see him.
He's right in front of me.
Did you watch that All-Star game last night?
I did, and of course, the AL won again,
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, they've won like 5 straight.
What a great
right
game that was, 2-1.
How about Scherzer? They're going ham in the first inning. You see that?
Struck out 2. One of them was Aaron Judge.
He had Judge swinging and whiffing.
Yes,
Judge hit like 3 home runs over 500 feet in the home run derby.
Yeah, speaking of Judge and the home run derby, wow, is that guy a specimen?
That dude is a freak.
Oh my goodness.
In batting practice, he was hitting some off the roof.
Yeah, he's like the guy that's like made up in a computer lab.
He really is.
Like Cam Newton, somebody. It's like just a physical
LeBron.
specimen.
He's he's 6'7", like 280. Yeah. He's just jacked. He looks like a cross between Derek Jeter and Michael Strahan.
And he was like a tight end in high school. He played like 3 different sports. Yeah,
he looks like it. He's got the size for it. How about Bryce Harper? Let's get into a little bit of Bryce Harper. Bryce made some weird comments. I mean, we knew that he was a Dallas fan. We knew that. I mean, he's worn some Redskins. He's been to Redskins games and stuff, and he's repped the city. But he's definitely, I mean, he's a douche. Let's just be honest. I love the guy. Douchebag, though.
Well, the cool thing about Bryce is, we've known that he is a Cowboys fan, but he's also gone out of his way to, like, give support to the Redskins players in this area. So we can't say that he's a complete douche for, I mean, you're allowed to be a fan of whoever the hell you want,
Yeah, but you shouldn't be. No, I know. I mean, especially, people got to remember, like, before people came to these cities, they were fans. Like, I wouldn't give up my Redskins fandom if I played for the Mavericks.
Right, like, if we got, like, let's just say, like, we got a deal to go to, like, Oklahoma or some weird place, like, and they told us to be fans of them, like, no.
Yeah, right. Like, back when I was playing for the Spurs in my heyday, I was still a Redskins fan.
Like, they asked us to play in Oklahoma City. They told us to be Oklahoma Thunder fans. I'm not going to be a Thunder fan. I'm going to be a Wizards fan.
No, exactly. Forever.
So you can't hate him for it?
Yeah, you can't hate him for it. It's just Bryce is one of those guys where he's, and this is how they all are, I feel like. He's a Cowboys fan.
Which he is.
He's a Yankees fan.
Which he is.
He's a Duke Blue Devils basketball fan.
Yes, he is.
He's probably also a Lakers fan in basketball, and he's probably, his backup team's probably the Warriors.
Yeah.
And then he's also probably a Seahawks fan somewhere in the NFL.
Yeah, and that really goes with the whole bandwagon aspect.
100%. And, hey, you were bringing up a good point when we were outside talking, though. I mean, people who are around our age when they grew up, they have no sense of loyalty.
Yeah, they
don't.
Well, I originally talked about this in one of our first podcast episodes that we had come out with, and I talked about people in this area our age being more of like the bandwagon type. You can tell at what age they started really being invested in football. If they were a Cowboys fan, you know that since they were young, about probably 6 years old, they were watching the NFL.
Right.
If they're a Steelers fan, they didn't really get into football until they were in their teens. That's when they were good.
Or they
Patriots
were born
fan.
in the 70s.
Yeah. Or a Patriots fan, so you know that they were like around 10 years old. Watching football and liking it, Well, there's not that many of us around here that have stuck around and actually been loyal to the Redskins.
It's a very real problem. I always feel like people like Cowboys fans, especially, like people grow into being Cowboys fans in this area, usually because either, like you said, growing up they were winning and they're watching it, or they just did it because they hate their dad and their dad's a Redskins fan. And they're like, fuck you, Dad. You're not in my life.
I have heard out in Dallas that the number one team besides the Cowboys in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is Redskins fans.
Yeah, there's actually, surprisingly, there's a lot of Redskins fans in Arizona, and there's a lot in North Carolina and South Carolina.
Yeah, I know that at Carolina games they have a bunch of Redskins fans.
And when the
games.
Cardinals were in the NFC East, which was just weird that they're in the NFC East at one point, but there was a bunch of Redskins fans and stuff always at those games and stuff as well. But it's weird. I don't know. I just hate the Cowboys so bad. But then again, I wouldn't switch teams. He did grow up in Las Vegas where he didn't have a pro sports team.
He didn't really have a pro sports team. He has already come out and said that he is going to be a fan of the Golden Knights when they do come out and play their first game, which is understandable. It's the first pro team there.
Oh, yeah, and they're going to get the Raiders soon?
Yeah.
They are?
They are. So he's about to be a Raiders fan.
He's going to be a diehard Raiders fan too.
Yeah, it's better than the Cowboys.
There's so many. Oh yeah, 100%. There's so many people like that though. Like LeBron. LeBron's the same way. Yeah. He's a Yankees fan, a Cowboys fan. It's always the three teams that it's always the Cowboys, the Yankees, and Duke.
Or the Lakers.
Always. And the Lakers are usually on there too. They've been so bad lately though that so many people are just like ashamed to admit it.
Well, I think it's so funny because John Wall. You know how John Wall was very vocal about being upset with when Kobe came here for his last game at Verizon Center.
About the fans.
About the fans coming and cheering on for Kobe and everything. But then he comes to a Redskins game wearing a Cowboys jersey with his whole crew wearing Cowboys jerseys. Yeah. And it's like, look, I understand what you're saying about the fans because Hizzer was one of those people in the stands rooting on for Kobe.
Yeah, I mean,
but like, it's just like if you're gonna say that, then don't contradict yourself.
Yeah, you can't.
Don't come into my stadium wearing the rival jersey. You could talk about
not even just the rival's jersey. Like that's not like it's.
Look, you could talk all you want about you being a fan of the Cowboys. Yeah. I'm not going to judge you for it whatsoever.
If you walked in there wearing a Dolphins jersey.
But if you play in Washington and you come into Washington Stadium and you're wearing the rivalry, the rival team that we hate more than anybody, and you wear their jersey inside of Washington, I have a problem with that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I love John Wall.
So do I.
We've been very vocal about how much we love John Wall. Yeah. And it rubbed me the wrong way.
Oh, 100%. I'm the same way with that. And especially, I mean, one thing, I know I've hated on Kevin Durant a lot in this, but Kevin Durant has always been very loyal to the Redskins. Kevin Durant is a diehard Redskins fan. So that's always been one cool thing. There's a lot of famous Redskins fans.
There is.
Matthew McConaughey is a diehard Redskins fan.
His reasoning is really
Dale
weird.
Earnhardt. It's because when he was growing up, he liked hamburgers was his favorite food.
Yeah.
So and the Redskins had, of course, Chris Hamburger. And it sounded like hamburger, so he started. And he's from Texas too. He's from Dallas area.
Hey man, I'll take it. But I'm just saying it's kind of weird.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. That's very weird. Very, very weird.
Yeah, but I can't kill Bryce for it. I mean, because Bryce does show the support to the Redskins.
It was just a weird thing. That first of all, it was awkward. If you don't know what we're really talking about, during the All-Star game, Bryce Harper was mic'd up in the outfield, and Joe Buck is one of the announcers. And first of all, Bryce comes. He's just trying to make small talk with him, and he's like, "So, man, talking with you, I feel like I'm on NFL Network right now." And Joe Buck just rolled with it because Joe Buck's not on NFL Network.
Yeah, he's on Fox.
Yeah, but so then Bryce is like, "So, how do you think Dak's going to do this year?" Man, him and Zeke are going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah,
man.
they're real fun to watch.
Yeah, it's just like, Bryce, God, I love you. I do.
I know you're trying to make small talk and everything. You're trying to keep it going.
If I get the hate for Bryce. Yeah, I do.
I mean, I don't really understand it because you can't expect these players to come into your city and adapt to everything that you love. You know, I can understand supporting them, which he does. He does support all the local teams in the area, but it doesn't mean he has to be fans of them and like only love them. You know,
right? But the thing. I don't know. For me, I completely get that too. Like you can't. I say that too. You can't just drop your sports team. But it's one thing if he's a Dolphins fan or something like that. But it's just the Cowboys.
I know. It's just the Cowboys aspect of it. If this was any other team,
so much worse than it is.
If it was any other team, nobody would care.
Right. Nobody would give a shit.
No. And that's just because it is the Cowboys, and nobody frickin' likes the Cowboys.
Nobody does. Nobody does. Even Cowboys fans don't like them.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't know it, but they don't. Next year, All-Star Game's coming to D.C.
Yes. Which I can't wait for because Bryce, I could just tell that
he's
Bryce.
He's going to be the home run derby. He says he is.
Sitting on the sideline for that home run derby, you could tell he was itching. Yeah, he was like, dude, I wish I was out here just showing people what's up.
Especially because his dad fucked it up for him last time he was in it. Yeah. His dad was throwing him shitty pitches the whole time. I'm calling you out, Mr. Harper. No, but he's such a good competitor. And, I mean, obviously he's so naturally talented that he should. I can't wait to watch that next year. Yeah, and especially with Judge and Stanton and all these people, assuming that they do it.
Yeah,
God damn.
Yeah, that was the one big letdown is that Stanton didn't even get out of the first round.
I know, and he put up bombs. He hit 16, but he couldn't beat what's his face
Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez.
The
Yankees, 17.
Yankees all of a sudden have all these ballers again, like out of nowhere.
I know, and
these
they're doing really good.
Guys.
Yeah, they've been building up for years.
Yeah. But I mean, they haven't been really that good. I mean, the commentators were like Mark Teixeira, which I really liked Mark Teixeira growing up. He was just a really cool dude and could hit the hell out the ball. Yeah. But I mean, his commentating was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
It was so lame. Every hit that was made, he was like, "My goodness!" Every time, dude was like, "Dude, come up with something new."
Dude, it's a single. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? The game's 2-1.
Exactly.
Come on. I don't know. That was. It was a fun time, though. It was good. The All-Star, I always feel like MLB's All-Star weekend is always or All-Star, few days, it's always so much better than the other sports. Right. I think, personally. I mean, the NBA's trying. They are. But they got to bring the dunk contest back.
Yes.
And this year was a little bit weird because usually they play for home field. They didn't play, or they play for,
which was a stupid rule to begin with. Why would the All-Star game dictate who gets home field advantage in the World Series?
But the only, I get it is weird, especially because like if a better team makes it, but it did make it more interesting, more fun because players were trying.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, that's what the other teams were missing. That's why MLB's, I feel like, was so much better usually. But this time, I mean, they did play. I mean, pitchers, you could see that. Usually pitchers don't try in the All-Star game. Scherzer came out blazing.
Well, generally, with pitchers, they can't take an off day, like kind of easy, lax, like throwing. They can't do that because that's going to screw up everything that they do. They have to go by a certain way that they do things to make sure that their repetition is continuing to go every 5 days to keep that repetitive workout that they do. They can't take a lax day like the NFL and the NBA, these other teams. Like they have to go full force. If they don't, they're back into their season screwed up.
Right, exactly. The Nationals, I mean, we have so much to look forward to coming up. I mean,
did you see the whole right side of the whole right side of the infield was Nats players?
Yeah.
There Daniel Murphy, Ryan Zimmerman, and Bryce Harper was out there, and Max Scherzer on the mound.
At one point, they were going out there all going to catch a foul ball together, and Bryce missed it, but it wasn't even foul, actually.
It was in the Bermuda Triangle. The no man's land.
Yep, and all three of them were right there.
Yeah.
And that was just so funny. Bryce also had that nice catch.
He did.
And he had the hair flip.
He did.
And
just threw his hair up.
Definitely a douchebag, but I love the guy. Definitely. But I love the guy.
It's not his fault.
No, it's not. He's just, born a tool. You can't help it.
Well, the next thing I wanted to get into was we are 5 days away, my friend. 5 days away from finding out that the Redskins are a colossal failure.
I know, and we're not going to sign them.
I know.
We're not. I hope we do. I really hope we do. Obviously, we've been talking about this forever. But it's not going to happen.
Like, now we're, going to bank again on hoping to be able to sign a QB or draft a QB and to be able to grow him and to be a good quarterback. It's like, why just invest the money in a product that already works?
Right. And, I think we touched on this last week. I do really believe that Allen and Snyder really believe that this is more Jay Gruden's offense than it is the player.
Yeah.
And that's where kind of the problem is, though. Who cares?
Who cares? It's still the same coach.
Right.
I could understand if this was like a different coach with a different philosophy and a different scheme, but this is the same scheme all the way through.
Right. It's just if that goes back to that number one rule, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like, why are we doing this? We finally have a good thing going, and it's so frustrating, but can't be mad at Kirk.
Yeah, the Burgundy blog tweeted out this week that they had a source from inside the Redskins organization saying that the Redskins were ready to offer $60 million guaranteed, which is 2 seasons worth. But Kirk and his agent were looking for $90 million guaranteed, which is 3 seasons of guaranteed money.
Right.
And that's what the discrepancy is between the two of them. And you expect in 5 days for one of them to budge. I just don't see it. I mean, it would make me. We've talked about before. I would run around my neighborhood naked if they signed him to a long-term deal.
So would I. I would.
1,000%.
I live behind a church.
I would be so happy because we actually have a franchise quarterback.
I live
there's poor church people, man.
I'll do it. And I'm not even packing much. I'm very average to below average. I'll do it.
Poor Michael.
I know. It's blessed/cursed.
Baby D Mike.
Yeah, it's bigger than babies.
Baby carrot.
Oh, white babies. It's bigger than white babies. Yeah. Baby carrot. Well,
I mean, if you were to give a percentage, what do you think?
That would get it done? Slim to none.
All right, if I would
5.
All right, what if I were to say in general, let's say not this year, possibly, but I'm saying even next year, a possibility of getting a deal done.
Maybe like 35.
I think less than that.
I know.
I'm thinking like 10%.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be hopeful.
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
I can't hearing these people come up with excuses like, well, if you pay Kirk this much, we're gonna sacrifice some defensive players or players that we need to re-sign, and it's like, wait a minute, dude. You don't know that.
Yeah.
You're not a cap specialist. You have no idea what you're talking about. Even Eric Schaefer, who is in charge of the salary cap for the Redskins, came out and said, Grant Denny asked him about the salary cap. He was like, that has nothing to do with any contract negotiation whatsoever.
Right.
We don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Because they already have it handled. They already know their figure that they're at. It's just them wanting to put up the money.
I mean, yeah, plus if you put out, you see it all the time. If you put out a good enough team, people will take pay cuts to join that team. Kevin Durant just took a big pay cut. He didn't make the full amount of money he's supposed to take. Mm-hmm. He just re-signed a 2-year deal because he wants to win.
Yeah.
If you have something good in place, the players will come.
Right. But the NFL is so different because with the NBA, I mean, it's guaranteed money. But the NFL, it's not all guaranteed.
Very true.
It's such a bad contract. And to tell a player who got screwed his first 3 years, was treated like crap, was not embraced whatsoever. And you're telling him to cut them a break now after they told him, we don't think you can do it after the first year. We don't think you can do it after the second year. And you expect him to give them some compensation? No. Screw you. I earned this. You're the ones that they turned down his $20 million offer last year with $40 million guaranteed.
Right.
They turned that down.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Literally, before the first year or around then, they could have gotten Kirk for $10 million a year.
Yeah.
Like if they would have just listened to McLuhan.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Nope.
They just didn't want to listen. Yep. They didn't want to listen, and they didn't want to piss off RG3. They were still mad about it. They didn't want to prove Mike Shanahan right. They didn't want Kyle Shanahan to be right. And it's a measuring dick contest, dude. Dick measuring contest. That's all it is.
It's a measuring dick contest. I'd enter one of those. Yeah. No, it's just it's sad, and we talk about it every week, but
we
until
have
it happens,
I mean, it's the biggest story right now because this has never been this has never happened before in the NFL.
Yeah.
A quarterback being on 2 franchise tags and possibility not being signed to a long-term deal. That's never happened before.
Plus, that's another thing. You don't think any teams aren't going to pay Kirk that money?
Oh my goodness!
As soon as Kirk hits that, San Francisco's going to go all in on him.
San Francisco signed Pierre Garçon, our wide receiver from last year, $17 million.
They're banking on Brian Hoyer and Matt Barkley right now. They didn't draft a quarterback.
No,
they're banking to suck to bring Kirk here next year.
Well,
they're waiting or draft somebody.
Also, the QB class next year is actually looking really good.
100. But that's like next year. There's going to be Kirk or a rookie.
Yeah,
I mean that's basically it. And you have to do it. It sucks so bad.
And it's such an interesting and unique situation because these quarterbacks like Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, Derek Carr just signed his to $25 million. But that organization has loved him since he got there. I mean, he's obviously their first pick and everything. They love him. So that's why he gives them the compensation. The Redskins have not given Kirk 1 ounce of love since he's been here. The only person is Jay Gruden.
Right.
And Jay Gruden has no input whatsoever in the negotiations.
If you think he does, then you're sadly mistaken.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay Gruden has no...
It's such a unique situation. And all these guys, like Matt Ryan, like who I just said, are about to get paid. And so when you're sitting here thinking, well, that's such a big number to sign Kirk. Well, in 2 years, that's going to be the normal. That's going to be the normal amount for QBs.
Oh, it's gonna keep going up. You see it every year. I mean, every couple years, you see Andrew Luck just signed the biggest.
Exactly.
Then Derek Carr just signed the biggest.
Yeah.
Then next in line,
it just keeps growing.
You don't think Jameis Winston isn't going to sign a big ass contract next?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's going to keep happening. Marcus Mariota.
Matt Ryan's is going to be colossal.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to keep. It's ridiculous.
And to sit here and say, well, we're going to sacrifice the rest of the team to pay Kirk. Well, I'm not sure if you realize this, but you don't get far in the playoffs. You don't make it into the playoffs without a QB, without a legit QB. If you don't have a good QB.
Saw that with the Raiders last year. They as soon as they got to the playoffs, they fell apart because their quarterback was hurt.
Look
at
Houston.
Texans can't go anywhere.
Look at Houston. Houston always gets to the playoffs somehow, some way they get there, but they don't have a QB, and then they get dropped.
This isn't the 2000 season when the Ravens won with Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, even the Seahawks with a historic defense made it all the way with a quarterback that is legitimately top 10 right now.
Yeah.
And so you have to have a QB. Even if you have the best defense and the historic defense, you still need a competent QB. And to say that you're betting on being able to get a guy in the draft or being able to sign him later on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do it now. Just sign him and give us a sigh of relief and just say, well, okay, you guys are somewhat competent. You realize that this is a big deal and you need it done.
Right. And oh my, it's so fucking frustrating, dude. I fucking hate this. I'm sorry. I know I'm cussing on it.
I don't give a shit.
I do. That was tight.
Yeah.
Shit. They have a tweet right here about the most valuable NFL teams according to Forbes.
We're
Number
third.
1 is the Cowboys. Number 2 is the Patriots. We used to be third.
Yeah.
Number 3 is the Giants. 4 is the 49ers. And 5 is the Redskins. We're still top 5.
I mean, yeah, but we're dropping.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's a good thing. Maybe
we do have 3 NFC East teams in there, though. Of course, the one team that's missing is the one team without a ring. The Eagles.
Exactly. But because the Eagles are such a shit organization.
They are.
Screw the Eagles.
I hate them.
How do you let go of Reggie White?
I know. Come on.
God, what's wrong with you? You don't deserve anything. How do you let
You're
go?
You're not boring me this week.
How do you let go of Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy? Thanks a lot, Chip Kelly.
I know Chip Kelly fucking.
That day when they let them go, I was so happy.
So was I. Deshaun used to murder us every year.
LaShawn McCoy used to murder us.
LaShawn McCoy is still. Nobody talks about him anymore, but he's still so good. He can still cut on a dime.
How often was LaShawn McCoy just dusting London Fletcher? just
all the time,
juking him out of his shoes and just running for days without anyone touching him. When they let him go, I was like, thank goodness.
Yeah, be gone. Be gone. They got rid of everybody. They were getting rid of Jeremy Maclin. They kept Riley Cooper.
Yeah. The one funny thing is when people try to get on us like, oh, LeGarrette Blount's going to run all over you guys and everything like that. But it's like when the Eagles got DeMarco Murray, I was not scared.
Neither was I.
Because I was like, we're scared of the shifty backs.
Right.
We're not in the overpowering
we
backs.
always have problems, it seems like we've had for like the last 17 years.
Yeah.
Tackling. Nobody on a team knows how to tackle. Besides Sean Taylor, he knew how. But nobody knows how to wrap up. Nobody ever does it. Yeah, London. But towards the end, too. I mean, he was just getting older.
But he was just too slow.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was just getting juked left and right. It always seems to be a problem with us. I've never understood that. We can't tackle for shit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's been there for so long now.
Yeah.
And our defense has been a huge issue for so many years. I mean, we've talked about it before with ever since Sean has passed, we haven't had anybody come in and been a legit safety.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's always been a glaring hole for us.
That's another thing right now. I think people are so carried away with the fact that we have Swearinger. Now we move Cravens back there.
Yeah.
Gotta remember, I think we've talked about it before. Swearinger is good, and he's an upgrade over what we have had, but he's still not going to be on that level. Like, he's not going to be Sean's level anywhere. Anywhere near that.
But he's still better than anything that we've had.
100%.
Obviously.
I am actually very excited to see this defense this year.
Yeah, I am. I think that they can make some big moves this year.
So do I. I mean, the defensive line. Can't talk enough about the Jonathan Allen pick.
Yeah.
Can't talk about that enough.
I mean, I don't think that as Redskins fans, I think the Kirk Cousins contract has overshadowed Jonathan Allen.
But you never hear anything
if
about
this
Jonathan.
Kirk Cousins contract wasn't going on right now, I mean, this city would be electric about John Allen.
That was literally the best case scenario.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Redskins have never been given a gift like that before, where someone just fell into our lap that's a blue chip player. I mean, wow.
Why am I fucking
and Ryan Anderson, too. I mean, I talked about it. I was like, dude, if I was a GM, I'd only draft Alabama players.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And then, I mean, on top of that, Fabian Moreau was supposed to be a high-round pick.
Yes.
I mean, he was supposed to be at least early second.
Yes.
And look at that. They're saying right now that I know that he's probably the best
case scenario.
We know that he's not going to be, and so he's not going to be there in the beginning of the season, but that could actually be very good for him, just to sit and watch and then let Fuller and Breland, if they do good this year, fuck yeah, awesome. But if they don't,
Torian Gray has come out and said that Kendall Fuller is looking really
apparently
good.
Kendall Fuller is looking very good, right?
And he's better at outside corner. And so
Breland has proven that he's better in the slot.
Breland's numbers in the slot were amazing compared to his outside.
As a nickelback, he was the best in the NFL. Right?
Now think about it. Now if you use Breland in the slot, you use Kendall Fuller on the outside, Josh Norman on the other side, now you can have a hybrid defense.
Right.
Where you can have Breland shift out to a safety and have Sua come into the box. Or you can keep it the other way and put Sua out at safety and then have Breland up in the box.
Right.
I mean, this is going to be a very fun defense to watch. And with Zach Brown,
a guy who's one of the underrated signings in the NFL.
One of the best pass defending linebackers.
Oh,
in the NFL.
Yes, he's hands down one of the best. He has such good speed. I think when he came out, he ran a 4.5 flat 40. That was at that time. That was the fastest by a North Carolina player.
Really,
on a defensive player in North Carolina. Yeah.
Well, good.
So, and as an inside linebacker, I mean, the dude's a stud.
I like being able to keep him healthy. I like the rotation of using Mason Foster, Will Compton, and Zach Brown. I mean, Zach Brown last year was a part of the top 5 pass defense with Stephon Gilmore. I mean, this is a guy who knows how to shut down the pass.
Yeah, and he knows how to tackle.
The only issue is
second in the NFL.
The only issue is stopping the run.
Right.
Because we talked about it. I mean, once teams find out that we still can't stop the run, that's all they're going to be worried about.
Yeah, but our run defense should be much improved. We're hoping so, at least.
Yeah.
We are hoping so. I mean, with this defensive line, I mean, adding Zach Brown, that's going to be huge. Ryan Anderson is a legitimate football player, so that's going to be very fun to watch over there in D.C.
Yeah, so Chris Shook wanted us to go over a couple things NFL-wise.
Yep.
The first one that really stuck out to me was that he said, what would the Redskins have to do to be considered a respected organization?
Sign Kirk.
I think it's more than that.
Well, but that's the first step, definitely.
I mean,
there's so much shit that would have to go in.
Yeah, for them to be considered respected again, I mean, it'd have to be a consistent front office for the next 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We saw for 2 years we were consistent with McLuhan. Then all of a sudden, so it'd have to be longer than that. I'd say maybe like 3 to 5.
Yeah,
like it would take a while for us to get back up there, and we'd have to continue putting good product on the field.
Winning cures everything. So
It does.
if you're winning games and if you're up there, then you're going to be well respected. But I think
Right.
in the NFL and like with the higher ups, the front office people, they have to have some consistency for the next couple of years so they even be
100%.
considered respected.
Yeah, I mean, our front office has always been, since Snyder's taken over, one of the laughing stocks of the NFL.
Yeah.
We just have. I mean, everything that happens with them is news. It's always something stupid. It's always players not working out for the Redskins because we give them too big contracts. It's always Snyder sticking his nose in shit. It's always stuff that comes out after we fire the coaches about what was going on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And it's always something. So until that shit stops, it's not going to matter. And that I do think that will go hand in hand with winning football.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The next question that Chris asked was the top 2 teams in each conference that have a shot to go to the Super Bowl. So let's go the NFC first.
The NFC, I still honestly think that the Falcons are a team to beat still. Their way that defense played last year in the stretch.
I completely disagree.
But I just don't see an NFC team that's better than them. Who?
Well, me personally, I think Carolina and Packers, Green Bay.
But Cam Newton is not. I'm not sold on Cam Newton.
I know.
I'm not at all.
But
that all relies on him.
I'm completely sold on that defense. Luke Kuechly coming back next year.
100%.
With Shaq Thompson and Thomas Davis.
I am sold on that defense. I'm not sold on Cam. Cam is just he's in and out.
And then Green Bay for me.
Green
absolutely.
Bay, Aaron Rodgers, like we've talked about, best player I've ever seen play the position.
Yeah.
And they're another team like that. They have so many holes, but with Rodgers. See, to me, it's just I feel like Atlanta, out of all them, is just the most complete all-around team. Mm-hmm. But then you see it every year. Teams just take a major step back, and you wouldn't think so. Like, we didn't think the Panthers would take the step back that they did.
A team that could possibly make a huge, gigantic step that no one has
in the NFC?
Even predicting whatsoever, it could be Tampa. I mean,
Tampa's very good.
That is a complete team, my friend.
Right. That is. If you really think about it, the NFC South, like look at the quarterbacks in that division. That is such a good division. It really is.
They have the Tampa has the best linebacking core in the NFL.
They're up there.
Next to Carolina.
Yeah.
They have the great defensive line with Gerald McCoy.
Led by
now
Gerald
adding
McCoy.
Chris Baker in there.
And then on top of that, you had Deshaun Jackson outside of Mike Evans to a growing Jameis Winston.
With O.J. Howard being put on. So, I mean, this is a team that can make some huge waves this year.
Definitely. I love that. Yeah. That is definitely a team. That is 100%
the only reason I disagree with you about Atlanta is because I've talked about before about Kyle Shanahan not being there anymore.
Yeah.
And I think as smart as Matt Ryan is, as good as Matt Ryan is, I think that in those crucial situations, they need Kyle Shanahan's mind and game plan, and I think that's going to just take them back just a small bit, and I don't think they make the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think Atlanta makes the playoffs?
No.
I'm going to say Atlanta's going to be the number 1 seed again.
You think so?
In the NFC. They're such a good complete football team.
Yeah, it's hard for me just because
I understand the Kyle Shanahan thing. Yeah, the Super Bowl hangover, but. Yeah. I mean, they haven't done anything really besides the Kyle Shanahan thing.
That's true.
To lose to me, but I completely get it. I 100% agree. I mean, you see that every year. A team who makes the Super Bowl or who goes far, who does really well. I think another team to look out for is the Giants.
Yeah.
I just do. They're so good. If they can keep their defense playing like they did the second half of last year and that can keep going, granted, it all comes down to Eli.
Yeah.
But his job's going to be a lot easier with Brandon Marshall and those receivers that they have out there.
But when it comes down to Eli, separate from the crazy, insane plays that have happened for the Giants,
the fluke plays,
to win. Yeah. When it has come down to Eli, they haven't done well. It's when that defense takes over. When that defense is a difference maker.
Yeah.
So I could completely agree with you if their defense takes over.
Yeah, that defense is very good. Yeah. They do have a very good defense.
So let's go into AFC. Who are your 2 picks for the AFC?
Obviously, the Patriots are going to be up there, and I want to go with one team from the AFC West, but I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Okay.
The Raiders I wanted to go Broncos kind of just because they're always up there and they have a good defense, and if they get their quarterback situation settled. But I just think the Raiders are such a good all-around team, too. And, I mean, I honestly think that this year, if Derek Carr would have stayed healthy, they would have won a lot further.
Okay. My 2, it's going to be really weird to say, but my number 1, obviously, is the Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, the weapons that they got this year without even having draft picks. I mean, it was genius.
Yeah.
But the sleeper team that I have is Kansas City.
Kansas City's very good.
It's a team that is very complete. They're set in every category on defense. They have ballers at.
Yeah.
And then you talk about offense with the game plan of Andy Reid and having the running game with Travis Kelce at the tight end position.
And if them getting Justin Houston back, that's going to be huge.
Yes.
Another team that I think can actually make some noise in the AFC is the Titans.
Yeah.
Titans are another solid team. They're good all around.
I just don't trust Mariota when it's getting into January.
Neither do I, but this is just like, it's his third year. I think he's going to finally develop a little bit as a passer, but you're right. We see it all the time with scrambling quarterbacks.
Yes.
Sometimes they just don't pan out the way that they should.
But we both talked about, we thought that, we both agreed that Tennessee we thought was going to be the team to win that division because I personally think that the best rushing team is going to win the division. It could be Houston because of Bill O'Brien's game
Houston's
plan.
Been so good. And hey, if maybe Deshaun Watson comes out or Tom Savage is the answer. Deshaun Watson comes out and balls out. Nobody knows. But yeah, I mean, if they get legit quarterback play with that defense, getting J.J. Watt back,
they just need Tom Savage to be Trent Dilfer.
That's all they need.
Just be a game manager.
Be a game manager, and you can win some games with that team.
Throw 200 yards a game. And make sure that your touchdown to interception ratio is like 1.4, 1.5, and I guarantee they're going to have a winning record this season.
Yeah, that defense is too good. They have too many playmakers. You have DeAndre Hopkins,
Jadavion Clowney, J.J. Watt, Brian Cushing. I mean, you go down the list. I mean, this is a stacked team.
It's a very good team.
Yes.
It is a very, very good team. Let's see. We could get into the top edge rushers in the NFL.
Yeah, I would love to get into the top 5 rushers.
Right. Now, we're going to say edge rushers, basically. So we're basically just talking 3-4 outside linebackers or 4-3 defensive ends. We're not going to include like Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt in this list. Yeah. Just pass rushers, basically.
Yeah, my number 5 is, I'm going to be a homer again with these top 5 picks, is Ryan Kerrigan.
Hey, I was tempted to put him there as well.
He's solid. He's not somebody that's going to blow your mind away with any speed or technique or anything like that, but he's just a solid guy who gets the QB, pressures more than anybody. Pro Football Focus had him the most pressure on rushes on every snap was Ryan Kerrigan overall in the NFL.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's always in there. He is, for me, number 5 is somebody who I think this year is actually going to take a step and become one of those better pass rushers. He hasn't really been it yet, but last year was his breakout year just as an all-around linebacker. I have Jadavion Clowney at number 5. I wanted to include Kerrigan, though.
That's a very solid pick there at 5 for Jadavion Clowney.
Number 4, I have somebody coming back from injury. He's kind of been out the last 2 years with injury. But when this guy's healthy, man, Justin Houston is a beast.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Justin Houston.
22 sacks 2 years ago. Yeah. 3 years ago now, I guess.
I mean, it's just him getting old. I just can't agree with it. But I just don't think that he's going to be back on that pedestal this year.
He's missed most of the last 2 seasons. I mean, he had 4 or 5 sacks last year in 4 or 5 games, whatever it was. 7.5 the year before and only a few games. But the year before that, he had 22, and he's always had double digits before then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what about you?
My number 4 is Vic Beasley from the Falcons. I'm not talking overall edge rusher, like being able to rush defense, being good with the rush defense and everything. Vic Beasley, for me, straight up being a pass rusher, using that speed. Vic Beasley fits perfectly at number 4 for me.
That's why I have Vic Beasley at number 3. Led the NFL in sacks last year. Yeah. He was up there. He's very good. He's just a pure speed rusher. Yeah. That's what he is. So what about you? Who do you have over there at number 3?
Number 3, I have Cliff Averill.
Yes, he was just on my outside. I have a list right here of people who were just about in there. I have Cliff Averill, Michael Bennett, Ryan Kerrigan, and Brian Arakpo just on the outside for me. But yeah, I mean, I can agree. He was a beast last year. He's always been good.
He's always been good. He's always been solid. He obviously benefits from that secondary and that whole defense altogether. But I just think as a solid edge rusher, as a guy who's very consistent in getting to the QB and being a good impact there.
Yeah, those two, I mean, really, him and Michael Bennett, they're both very good. They're not going to put up gaudy numbers, but they're very consistent at getting to the quarterback. Very good.
Now, I think we both agree on number 1 and 2 here.
Number 2, I have Khalil Mack.
Yes.
You have Khalil Mack at number 2 as well?
Absolutely. The guy is a man-child.
And Khalil Mack, he's somebody, man. He's the first player in NFL history 2 years ago. He made the NFL All-Pro team at both outside linebacker and defensive end in the same year.
That's ridiculous.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's insane.
He's a pure pass rusher, by the way. And then number 1, Von Miller. Yeah. That's, of course, I mean, they're both, but hey, Khalil Mack could even overtake Von Miller this year.
And it's funny because like Von Miller and Khalil Mack, it's like you could say that they're 1 and 2, and then the rest of our list, 3 to 5, it's like you could say they're like 10 to 15 because there's such a huge difference in gap of the talent level because these guys, Von Miller and Khalil Mack,
they're just dominant.
Every single play, I mean, they have a chance to get a sack.
They do it all. They really do. They do it all legitimately. They're just, I mean, how about in that division? Yeah. Von Miller, Khalil Mack, Justin Houston. I mean,
that's a sick division.
Joey Bosa's in there now. Yeah. I mean, he's a defensive end, 3-4 defensive end.
That is a guy who can,
but he's going to be a beast.
That's a guy who can creep up in that top 5 this year. Yeah. He's definitely undercover.
Definitely, but Joey Bosa, he'd be more with like the J.J. Watts and Aaron Donalds, but
he's a 4-3 edge.
He's a 3-4 end in San Diego right now. Yeah, but he's somebody. But fucking, he's really defenses are so weird right now. They use such hybrid schemes and shit that
it's transitioning. Yeah,
I mean, it's just those players like look at Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack plays everywhere.
Yeah, he does.
So I don't know.
He's the best player on the field at most times. So
I know.
Yeah, play anywhere.
Think about that. The Raiders got Khalil Mack in the first round, Derek Carr in the second round that year.
Ridiculous.
Look at that fucking draft class.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Insane. Hopefully they'll be saying that about us with Jonathan Allen and Ryan Anderson.
I know. Hopefully they'll say it with like our first 4 picks, and then like Fabian Moreau and Samaje P. Ryan.
Speaking of the Redskins, Shook, another question he asked us is what your prediction for the Redskins would be for this season.
Well, we did that not too long ago. We had the schedule, and we were looking at it. I'm gonna need the schedule in front of me. We can do that though in a little bit. I'll pull it up, and we can definitely get into that. And we can after now, since the draft, everything we can look at it. Let's get into top 5 tight ends in the NFL.
Oh,
this is interesting.
Spicy.
This is interesting. So I have 6 players listed, but we're only going to do the top 5 first. On my first player out, who almost made it into the top 5, Tyler Eifert. That's who I had at number 6, just on the outside.
He was injured for a lot of last year. I think he didn't come in until I believe week 8 or something like that.
I think it was against us. Was his first game back?
Yeah, he still did really well.
Yeah, he's still a beast. He is. He's got to stay healthy. Number 5 for me is somebody who doesn't get a lot of attention, but Delaney Walker.
That's who I have at number 5.
You have him at number 5 as well. Dude, he's such a good tight end.
Yeah,
he just do it all. Man.
He's very solid. I mean, he's perfect for Marcus Mariota because we talk about rookie quarterbacks, young quarterbacks. They need a certain criteria to do well.
Blanket.
They need a safety blanket at tight end, and they need a strong running game.
Right,
and that's exactly what Mariota has.
That's what he's had, and it's worked out for him so far.
Delaney Walker is huge. I mean, even in fantasy wise, I mean, he is a top pick at tight end.
Delaney Walker puts up numbers. One player who he's kind of similar to Delaney Walker, meaning that he doesn't get as much like credit probably as he should. Like there's bigger names like Jimmy Graham, but who's not on my list yet. I have Greg Olson at number 4 for the Panthers. I love Greg Olson.
That's who I have as well. So.
Do you really?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Greg Olson is my dude, Mr. Consistent.
Yeah.
Greg the third leg, man.
Greg the third leg, man. I want to see that thing. I want to know if that's true.
No, why would you want to see that?
You don't want to see a big dick. I would love to see it. No.
I see one every day, dude.
I don't have that luxury. Nah, but sometimes, like, I mean, if it's that big, like it's like a third leg to NFL players. Yeah, no, I gotta see
that was back when he was at Miami.
So maybe it grew. He's had kids since then, so his dad dicks came in. That's a thing. Google it. A dad dick is real.
Oh my god!
Remember the first time when you were a kid, like the first time you saw your dad's dick?
No.
Oh, I do. I do. That's like how
I never saw my dad's.
That's how I grade him. I'm like, that guy's got a dad dick, and you're just like, wow, because like when you were a kid and you saw it, you were like, oh my god, that's big. And then one bigger than that's the stepdad dick.
Yeah.
And that's the dick that your mom left the dad dick for. So that's even bigger. So if someone's got Greg Olson probably got a grandfather dick. Yeah. Number three tight end. I have Jordan Reed at number 3.
You have Jordan Reed at 3?
I do have Jordan Reed at 3.
At 3, I have Kelsey.
Okay, yeah. See, I was tempted to put Reed up there. Reed does have a little bit of injury problems. But when he's healthy, Jordan Reed is a matchup nightmare.
He is. I mean,
nobody can cover him.
He is a wide receiver playing tight end with the body that he has.
No, he's like an NBA player when he gets shifty.
You can't cover him.
Right.
You can't put linebackers on him because they're too slow. You can't put safety on him because he's bigger than them.
Yeah.
And so it's pick your poison. What do you want to do here?
Yeah.
And the Redskins do such a good job of getting him isolated and by himself.
In Jay Gruden's offense, they work wonders with Jordan Reed. I mean, that guy is always open.
You can make the argument. Who has better hands, Jordan Reed or Gronkowski?
You can. Hey, I was getting into it with some people last year, and of course I was being a homer. Like when I made this list, I was just kind of looking at it like I have Kelsey at 2. You have Reed at 2. You can legitimately, I mean, I know I'm probably being a homer, but I think you can, like last year, you can make the argument that Jordan Reed took over almost the number 2, number 1 spot.
Yeah.
Like you could say.
With Gronk being out, then yeah, I would say,
yeah. I mean, last year, like when he was healthy, oh my God, like that Cowboys ridiculous. Game that he took over in Dallas on Thanksgiving, like, oh my God.
I got a couple buddies that are Packers fans, and the play that, they won the game, but the play that haunts them and still like, they think about, like, oh my God, is the play where Kirk throws an out route to Jordan Reed, and there's 2 Packers guys converging on him from each side,
makes him miss.
And him out of nowhere, right in front of both of them, one hand behind him as he's running away with left hand, picks it up, just one hand of the ball, right? Imagine that in a playoff game, in the middle of everything on 3rd down, and you throw it to Jordan in between 2 guys, and he snags
Jordan Reed was a fucking monster that game, dude. He had a one-handed catch in that game, too, that was nasty in that playoff game, that wild card game.
I mean, you can talk about the Cowboys game last year when he separated his shoulder and still balled out.
And he had that diving
diving
one-handed catch down the sideline.
But still, I mean, he's still only my number 2, and I think we both agree on number 1.
Kelsey, number 2. I want to get in. Well, yeah, Gronk, fucking 100%.
I love Kelsey, by the way.
I like Kelsey, but the one thing that really turns me off about Kelsey is that stupid show that he was on.
Yeah, and that's always the rubs people the wrong way.
I hate him because of that.
Yeah.
Fuckboy, douchebag. But I would be the same way if I was.
I wish I could say he's a douchebag because of his hair.
Yeah.
But Bryce has the same haircut.
But Bryce is a douchebag sometimes. But no, yeah, Gronk's number 1. I mean, it's Rob Gronkowski. One of them. Yeah. He's gonna finish his career.
When healthy, he is the best in the game.
If he's healthy, yes, and he could finish his career among the best tight ends in NFL history. I don't think that he would come close to Tony Gonzalez, but
I mean, a couple guys that we had already you already talked about Eifert possibly creeping into the top 5 after the season.
Right.
A guy who I have is he's not really a sleeper anymore, but Hunter Henry.
Yeah, Hunter Henry. Hey, there was a few games last year where Hunter Henry went off.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry did very good last year.
He's a matchup nightmare for a lot of teams, just like Jordan Reed. He's a little slower, but he's a better blocker.
Yeah, right.
And I think with Antonio Gates, with getting as old as he is, I think Hunter Henry takes over as number 1.
Yeah, he is, and what a perfect mentor to have too, Antonio Gates. I mean, you can't ask for better than that.
This is what I wanted to talk about. Like I've thought about it last week. Like is Phillip Rivers not being so underrated? I mean, think about for so long, every year. He has different wide receivers coming in because every year there's always an injury.
Good too. Yeah,
always an injury. And we've talked about before, how do you judge a good quarterback? And I've always said a quarterback that makes something out of nothing, that makes wide receivers.
Right.
He just keeps having wide receivers.
San Diego, there was a little while where they were pumping out wide receivers. Like Vincent Jackson and these people, and Phillip Rivers, like for somebody who has like such an awkward release. Like it can be so frustrating watching him throw a ball. Like it's just annoying. Like what? Just throw it right. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's all sidearm. But he's so good. He really is. He's just somebody. He's a quarterback you'd want to play for. And honestly, I think he should get a lot more credit than he does get.
He does. I mean, I saw a thing like a graphic on Facebook the other day where they were like, "Who's the better quarterback?" And it was like Phillip Rivers, Kirk Cousins, and just a bunch of like Andy Dalton, just a bunch of like those range. I was like, "What?
How is he in that?"
Like, I love Kirk and everything, but you cannot compare Kirk and Phillip. They're not
Rivers
even close.
He's. I guess it's because like lately over the last few years, San Diego hasn't been that good, but he's still putting up numbers. I mean,
he puts up gaudy numbers.
Yeah,
dude.
Phillip Rivers is a monster, and another thing, he's always kind of been like an underdog too, because like I guess coming out with Eli Manning and Big Ben and stuff, and like they've won Super Bowls and he hasn't, but he's just somebody. I mean, I guess it's kind of similar to like a Dan Fouts or something. Like he's putting up numbers, but he doesn't really get mentioned among these great quarterbacks. When if you really look at the numbers, he probably should.
And one of the most like underrated things about him is his consistency. I mean, has he ever missed a game?
I don't think so. He might not have.
He's a guy that doesn't get injured, just like Drew Brees.
He's a throwback quarterback too.
Yeah. Yeah. He really is, and he's a tough-nosed guy.
Drew Brees,
yeah, and he's he's an amazing competitor. He gets fired up. He's always screaming at the refs. You know, you love to play for QBs like that.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers, and he's a Southern boy too. Yeah. He's a man. He's a man's man. He wears Levi jeans.
He's gone through different head coaches.
That guy's a man. Oh yeah, and he's made some head coaches.
Yeah,
too.
Dude, and he's continued this and played well. And I always feel like he gets too much crap for how good he is.
He does. He really does. And I guess it's just because really over the last few years, San Diego hasn't been very good, but it's not his fault. It's definitely not his fault.
Crazy thing I saw today, Pro Football Focus, who is basically a group of men that live out of the country, and what they do is they review the tape, and they judge players based off like percentages.
They take like every snap and everything into
They had a draft like you would they had a draft like if you had Madden, if you were doing a fantasy draft in Madden.
Based off these players' statistics.
So they did their draft. Guess who the 10th player was off the board?
Phillip Rivers?
Kirk Cousins.
Was he?
Yeah, based off of so basically saying if you're going to start your franchise now.
This is the 10th player.
Number 1 was Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
5 was Dak, which I don't really agree with whatsoever. But 10 was Kirk, and that's
surprising. That's all. I mean,
Tom Brady wasn't in the top 10.
Really? Damn.
Because he's so old. I mean,
and he also, I guess he missed some games last year too. But still, I mean, I don't know. But no, they literally, Pro Football Focus, they take everything into consideration. Like, they have a grade for everything. Like, I mean, they've been actually very kind to the Redskins.
They have
the past couple years.
The one weird thing with them is I understand with their grading like policy and everything, they don't know what the assignment was. Like, you don't know what the defensive coach or what the offensive coach is asking these players to do in these certain situations or in these plays. So you don't know what their real assignment is. So maybe somebody else is screwing up and they're picking up for them, but they're also getting beaten, so they have a bad grade because of it. That's the one aspect of it I don't like.
And that's pro football. I feel like that's always kind of been the knock on them. Like, that's why a lot of people don't really take what they do, what they say seriously. Like, they don't take their word isn't gospel. But I love Pro Football Focus. I think it's so fucking awesome what they do. I think it's very interesting to see how different players, like, you wouldn't expect it. Like, nobody, like, if you really look at the numbers, according to them, Trent Williams was so much better than any left tackle in the NFL last year.
The eye test can tell you that.
Well, yeah, it should. But so many people be like, oh, Tyron Smith, because look at the team's numbers. But then, like, if you actually look at the way that the player played, Trent Williams is hands down the best. And, like, them talking about Jamison Crowder in the slot, and Bashad Breeland in the slot, Bashad Breeland as a nickelback, like, it's just so interesting to me what they do. I love them.
But a lot of it is true. I mean, they have been right about a lot of things. I've been critical of them before because they have been hard on the Redskins.
They always have.
But you have to acknowledge the fact that they are maybe starting to see that there is something special here.
Right.
It just sucks that everyone, even people outside the country, know the special person in Kirk, and the Redskins can't.
They have the front office can't even. You see, Jason Campbell. He was saying last week, and it's so true, and it's what we all thought. He was like, the Redskins, like, I love that organization, like, I love the fans, I love the city, I love the team.
Yeah, that's the one biggest thing.
That fucking organization, man. He was like those higher ups, they're such fucked up people. Like,
that was the biggest thing I took away from that interview with 106.7 is him basically saying it was the fans, it was the people that worked there. It's like that was, and the players is the one thing that he kept
he loved it. He was like they were awesome.
Yeah,
they were amazing.
And then he just said the front office,
and it's what everybody expects. Yeah, and it's 100% true.
I mean, you can't work for a tyrant like that. I mean, the guy is a giant douche.
He is. He's.
I mean, he's one of the worst. He's possibly the worst owner in professional sports.
Hey, at least like Jerry Jones has kind of gotten the hint and backed away a little bit. And, like,
not
now,
really.
Well, yeah, but like they're putting winning teams out right now.
Jerry Jones just has to give his opinion on.
I hate Jerry Jones too. But
why is Jerry Jones briefing the NFL on the injury report? Why are you still the general manager?
You're an oil tycoon. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
But winning cures everything, and I guess maybe if they would have went 7-9 this year, I would have been like, oh yeah, fuck Jerry Jones, he's bad too. But they didn't.
I wish we'd be able to the Redskins would be able to get away with holding on every play on defense and offense without any flags. I mean, Dean Blandino, the officiating president, was seen getting off the Cowboys tour bus 2 seasons ago,
like wiping his mouth off.
Yeah, it's like, why is that okay?
Jerry shot his oil into him.
Yeah, Josh shot his oil.
Jerry Jones is such a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, you did that picture with the girls? Did you see those?
But with him being creepy in the owner's box or whatever, dude, he's
savage, dude.
He is. He looks like the Crypt Keeper, but I'm sure that dude fucks like TT Boy.
Yeah, he definitely seems like the type of guy that will invest into being able to live forever.
Oh, 100%. Oh, I guarantee. Oh, my God. Do you know how many kids he's probably eaten?
I know.
Oh.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and he also strikes me as the type of dude who will,
what an ugly
just walk
dude,
into the owner's box and pop 10 Viagras and be like, I'm going to be here for a while.
Let's go, Jared.
Yeah, here we go. This is how I make my oil.
Line them up, fellas. Let's do it.
Did you see, I know we're getting close kind of to the time, did you see any of the McGregor and Floyd?
I did. The suit killed me, dude.
That was so funny. If you didn't see it, Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, they had their press conferences yesterday about the super fight. And maybe I'm just a little bit biased because I hate Floyd, but I love Conor. I think Conor definitely kind of won that just based off, when Conor's talking shit, he just believes it. He really believes that he is the best in the world and that this is a half fight. As he said, he was like, this is a restricted fight. This is only a half. This is a quarter of a fight. I got this easy. He's saying shit. He said, he was like, if you zoom in on my pinstripes, my suit says "fuck you," and it literally did. They zoomed in on it later. His pinstripe said "fuck you" all on every pinstripe going down. That was so fucking
genius, dude.
He's such a man.
Well, it's funny because that's a fact because Mayweather did the same exact thing to Pacquiao.
Oh yeah,
had a list of things that restrictions to do.
He made him get blood tests, even though it was against his religion, a certain amount of time before the fight.
And I thought it was hilarious how Floyd said, "Oh, I'll fight you in the octagon." McGregor's like, "No, you wouldn't."
McGregor was like, no, we tried.
Yeah, we tried to do it. You said no.
Yeah, that was just so funny. And then also Floyd just being. That's the thing I hate about Floyd. People are always like, well, Floyd is so much like Conor, and they are they're both shit talkers, and they both back it up.
Yeah.
But Floyd's just so much more, like, Conor's arrogant, like, it's funny because he'll say funny shit, but Floyd's just, like, throwing $100 bills in your face, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? And it was funny as shit. Floyd pulled out a check from, like, I guess, like, 10 years ago. It's for, like, $100 million or something. He was like, still haven't cashed this. Like, blah, 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 saying all this shit. And Conor was like, yeah, as soon as you do cash it, half of it's going to go to the IRS. Because Floyd just came out and couldn't pay his 2015 taxes or something. He found, like, a loophole saying that he can't pay it until after the McGregor fight because he doesn't have enough money. Like, bullshit. You got so much money.
Do you see how many Instagram photos a guy puts up of the bets he makes?
Stop following him on Instagram because he kept posting dumb shit for this past couple weeks.
I mean, I remember him posting an Instagram photo with him throwing like $100 bills on literally a room full of naked women.
Exactly. Yeah, you just pulled out $100 million check, and he was like, "I haven't cashed it. Fucking." And
you tell me you can't pay your taxes?
Cash it and pay them.
Come on, dude.
Come on, man. I pay my taxes sometimes.
It sucks because we want it to be such a good fight, but it's not gonna be.
Hey, Mystic Mac, baby. He said he was going to knock him out inside of 4 rounds.
Inside 4 rounds,
That's what he said.
I wish he would have like told him to look up at him when he said that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to knock you out in 4 rounds. Look at me. I'm going to knock you out in 4 rounds.
Look at me. I just think Conor McGregor's so funny. And again, I'm a huge McGregor guy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I just don't see it happening. I wish it would. If anybody's going to, I think it'll be Conor.
Yeah, everyone roots for the underdog, like in all cases, but it makes it so much better that the underdog talks so much shit. And
I think the cool thing about like McGregor talking so much shit is like, first of all, he's got the look for it. He just does. Like, he's a swaggy person. He knows what he's doing. He really believes what he's saying too.
Yeah.
Like, he really thinks that like this is nothing to me. Like, and that's another thing. I'm sure a lot of that comes back to the fact that if he really wanted to, he probably could kill Floyd if he wanted to. He could beat the shit out of him.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, if it was MMA, it wouldn't be even close. But like, at least he has a puncher's chance in this.
You thought Mayweather ran around the ring on a bike, like what they say he's on his bike around the ring, just running away from boxers? He wouldn't be able to climb out that octagon fast enough.
Oh yeah, I know.
I think I tweeted at Will Compton and was like, Mayweather would be the first guy to ever be physically thrown out of the octagon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the thing. Like, as soon as if they did fight in an octagon, they would square up. And like, as soon as Conor just hit him with one of those leg kicks real quick, he would just be like, "Fuck, this is real." Like, oh shit. Then all of a sudden, Conor would go for the takedown. It'd be game over. And another Conor, I love just the accent makes everything so much cooler. Like, he's like, this guy is fucked. This guy is fucked. And you're just like, God, Conor, you are the man. Just like, I want to hang out with that dude so bad.
And it's awesome because he has talked crap throughout all these years.
But he's backed it up.
And he's backed up every single one of them.
He has. And like, I love, like, the Nate Diaz shit talking was so funny. I love Nate Diaz. I do. Nate Diaz, I love the Diaz brothers. They're both, I'm big fans of them both. But it was just so funny. Like, first of all, the UFC did end up screwing Nick Diaz.
Yeah, he did.
After, I mean, they're just like, they're tied at 1-1, and they're just not going to let them fight anymore just because Conor won.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like, but I get it. He's their cash cow. But like, like when they're on the phone interview, and the reporter was like, "All right, guys, I need you guys to calm down. Just count to 10." And then Conor's just like, "Nate can only count to 5." And he's like just talking shit about him, and Nate Diaz is just like, "All right, man, just taking it."
Nick Diaz doesn't care.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're so it's so funny that watching him talk shit.
It's going to be such a fun fight, and I don't know what's going to be more entertaining, the fight or McGregor just
I think the
before
press conferences leading up are going to... Yeah, and the one good thing is a lot of people are like, "Oh, but it's a Mayweather fight, it's going to be boring." But the one good thing, Conor wants to shock the world. He's not just going to sit there and dance around the ring with him the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, he's at least going to... He said 4 rounds, so he's at least going to try in that. So it will be. I don't. It's definitely not worth $100 paying $100.
No.
But I mean, I'm gonna be working that night anyway. But I'm just gonna fucking stream it. Hopefully.
Well, I'll have people over. We'll all throw money.
Yeah.
Down on it,
Imagine how much it's gonna cost so much for bars to get it that people are gonna have to be charged so much money just to go into a bar. So don't go watch it at a bar. Don't do that.
I mean, I think the bars will get a flat rate, but the bars will jack it up to make more money off of it.
Now they have to pay per TV.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. That's why a lot of times Green Turtle and Germantown wouldn't show, like, they didn't show the Pacquiao one because they're like, we have to pay $100 per
TV, and there's no way that's happening.
Yeah, we have like 20 TVs. And
no wonder Hard Times went under.
Yeah, they would have to charge people like $50, $75 to get in.
Yeah, because Hard Times used to have the fights on all the time, and they would never have a cover.
Yeah. Hard Times was fun towards the end because I remember they had like, what was it? It was like nickel beers or something one time.
Did they really?
Literally, it was like 50 cents. It wasn't. It was like 50 cents though. And you're just like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm just gonna go scrounge up some
towards the
quarters.
end there, Lance was the manager there, a good buddy of mine. And I mean, god damn, did it smell in there, dude.
It did.
My God. But the best part about Hard Times was the TVs and Outback with the cornhole.
Yeah. That Outback was clutch.
Dude, when they had dollar beer nights on Tuesdays, we used to go there and we used to play people for beers. And dude, I'd be walking around with like 6-7 beers in my hands because I was whooping everyone's ass. I was like, "Oh, free beer!"
Hard Times was tight. I like that place.
And then people just started fighting and shit, and then
it started getting real, like for a little bit. That was kind of depressing.
I remember Keese was working the door, checking
Keese
IDs.
was?
I miss Keese, dude.
I know. I haven't seen Keese in so long.
He's
talked to him on Snapchat randomly.
Did you really?
He asked me for a link to this.
Oh stuff. Yeah, my man's because he was talking about the YouTube.
Yeah. He hit me up one time. He was like, give me a list of like 5 DJs that I should be listening to. And I was like, all right, like what genre? And he was like, fuck, that's different genres. I thought it was all like EDM. It was all the same shit. I was like, there's so many different types.
Funny ass story about Marquise is we had a flag football team and we were playing this one team and that was like the quarterback just kept running his mouth, dude. Was just talking crap for no reason. Like he wasn't good, you know.
Yeah.
But he was just jawing back and forth and he threw a pick at the end of the game. And Murphy caught the ball. And Murphy's running past a dude. And all of a sudden, this like white redheaded kid just mushed Murph from his back, just ran up and smacked Murph in the back.
Shit.
And so we all get in there and we're all crowded around each other. We're about to fight. Marquise is in there we're all trying to spread everything out. I see Pierre walk up.
Uh-oh.
And dude, it was like slow motion. I see Pierre walk up. Pierre walks up. And he's looking at the dude, and I was like, Pino. The dude was like talking shit to Pino. I was like, P, don't do it.
No,
and then I just see people,
Pierre, no.
Ma. Just two quick jabs, dude.
Pierre
I just saw dude's face go, Ma.
Oh,
And
God.
then he was like, oh, he ran out of there with his nose. And then 2 minutes later, the dude's girlfriend is running onto the field saying, I'm going to contact the police. I'm going to get an assault charge, blah, 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 all this shit. And of course, my girlfriend thinks the girl's yelling at me. So Katie runs onto the field and says, don't talk to my man like that.
Yeah, that's a keeper. That's a fucking
dude,
keeper. That's awesome.
Dude, I'll never forget that.
She was looking like it was Rock of Love.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
She was like, she was talking crap to you, Kyle. I was like, no, she wasn't. She was talking crap to everyone.
That's so funny.
I don't need, stop. Get
That's
back on
Bay.
top. Yeah.
That's Ride or Die. That's Bay.
True.
That's
Bay.
True. I'm going to find one day. I will. I'll find one. I'm going to,
You already did, man. You have Chris Marley.
That's true. I do have Marley.
Don't discount. Don't do it.
Can't find true love, but I can find Marley.
That's true.
I always know where he is. I always know where Marley is.
All right,
He's always being cute.
You wanted to go through it. Screw the schedule. Okay, screw looking at the schedule. Give me your Redskins prediction.
9-7.
9-7. I still think 8-8, just like last year.
Yeah, I can see it. Well, technically, we're 8-7-1.
I think I've said on here before, if the defense steps up like they had, we think they're going to,
if the defense can make its way into like a top 18, top 15, we'll be very good.
And I don't mean like serviceable, but I mean like
legitimately being
like pressure defense, being able to actually get to the quarterback
and stop some people on third down.
Exactly. If they can do that, I think that we could go 10-6.
I do too. Oh, the Redskins. I could see it going a number of ways. Mm-hmm. I really do. I could see us I can't really see us going any worse than 7-9 though right now, and that's the problem though. Yeah. That's the problem when you have too much hype. I'm gonna end up getting my heart broken.
All right, who has a better year rushing? Rob Kelly, Samaje Perine, or Chris Thompson?
I'm gonna go with Rob Kelly. Yeah. I want to say Perine, whatever the fuck you ever said, but I just think Rob Kelly, like, after analyzing kind of what he did, like Pro Football Focus put out some shit about him. I think Rob Kelly, like, everybody's talking about Perine right now. Like, everybody is. And I think Rob Kelly's kind of like, did you not see what I did?
Yeah.
Like, and he's already got a chip on his shoulder. He
came into minicamp. He lost weight.
Yeah. He's not Fat Rob anymore.
The Pro Football Focus thing that you saw was the most evasive tackles.
Yeah. And he was only like a few behind Zeke.
Yeah. And so you give him one more year behind that Redskins offensive line, and you got to make a change to left guard.
Right, but 100. I completely agree with that. The one thing though about the Redskins offensive line, I do think that they're going to be better this year because historically, Bill Callahan, all of his teams in year 3, this is like where is when the Cowboys had the number 1 rushing offense with DeMarco Murray and stuff. Year 3 Callahan, like all of his teams, year 3, and this is his 3rd year with us, and we've been consistently getting better and better and better. Yeah. So I hope so. What about you? Who do you think they're going to have? Who's going to lead the team in rushing?
I think it's going to be Rob.
Yeah.
I think there's some.
I want to say P. Ryan. I do. That'd be so awesome.
I think P. Ryan is only going to be used in short yardage and goal line situations for now. But if we don't know what could possibly happen,
barring an unforeseen injury,
exactly. But I think P. Ryan could be a great bell cow if we needed to in case of situations.
Right. But I am excited to see what Rob Kelly can do.
Yeah,
I am. I'm pumped.
I think that he can really make some. I know that in the offseason he's worked on his catching abilities because he wants to be better out the backfield there because he saw a lot of his carries going away to Chris Thompson because he was such a good receiving back.
Right.
Where he was like, well, if I can improve there, then maybe I'll get more reps.
Right. So, all right, that is just about that time for us. It's about that time to wrap things up.
Next time we talk on Wednesday, it's going to be after the deadline for Kirk Cousins.
I know, and hopefully by then we'll have the phone calls up. We almost had the phone calls up today. We were so close, but they couldn't hear us talking on the phone. So we'll get that shit fixed.
Yeah, we didn't even think that we were possibly going to be able to have it today.
Yeah, and we did.
We thought we were going to.
We were right there,
so
right
close,
on the cusp.
so close.
So next week I'll be early this time, and we'll be able to actually fuck with it more with it.
Exactly.
So, thank you to Michael Winters for being you, and because I love you and I want you to come home and I miss you. Thank you to Josh Wilkins for being in there, being all cute with his cute little chest hair. Thank you to Andrew Robinson and Extraordinary Entertainment for just being you. Thank you, Kyle, because your smile makes my heart smile.
Well, I just want to say thank you to these guys. I mean, these guys really, they give us this equipment, and they don't really expect anything in return, and they're just such great guys for doing this. So we really appreciate it, everyone, especially Winters, living out in San Francisco, taking time out of his day to crop these videos that take hours.
I've been sending Winters nude pictures of myself as payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not so much Winters anymore.
Yeah.
But to Pops, to Josh, to Winters, thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. This is the 15th episode of the K&M 495 Sportscast.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
So thank you, guys. We will see you guys next week. This is Mike signing off. I just always wanted to say that. I love it. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Kyle, how about a Redskins football?
Redskins football. Woo!